Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Costello with my colleague Leo Farberg. We're both
Hi there.
psychologists, we're counselors, we're coaches, we're therapists. We do all kinds of stuff. Quite interesting to do some of it. One of the things that has been coming up a lot of late in my world, and this has been coming from clients, is a thing that I call the collision. That's my name, nobody else's. So, what happens? You've got a busy fairly high profile job in many cases that relate to the people I'm talking to. And they're finding that work has got a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pushing going on. There's a lot of demanding going on. All kinds of things that create anxiety, that create stress, that create extra pressure to the stuff that's going on at home. Well, one particular client talked about two young people in her family who had particular challenges at that particular time. So there was this big collision going on between home and work. And she felt like the person in the middle. Her words, not mine. I feel like a piece of elastic. And one side is pulling me, the other side is pulling me. And soon I wonder if one side is going to break because of all this additional pressure. So people talk about work-life balance. But can there be a work-life balance in reality? Because based on what she was saying in particular, no, there's not. And no, there can't be. But we do need to find something, obviously, because we need to manage all of this stuff. Otherwise, we're going to go crazy, quite literally. So what do you think, Leo?
Oh, that's a big problem and a big challenge for clients and for therapists because it's like, oh, let's work around your anxiety. But there are tons of things that cause this anxiety. And so what I think about it, that yes, people do feel as if they are like stretched to really, we have in Russia, we have a joke to tear into the Union Jack. So actually, and people do feel like they're stretched to all directions. And what I think is the core thing is that you, the person, is the core element. There has to be a center around which all the things are concentrated, has have to be concentrated. And if we work with the core element, with you in the center of it, with the client, uh, and then see what can be done in all directions and what are the minimal and but kind of enough it can be done, then it probably will work because otherwise you will not get rid of your
Yeah,
troubles and
it's not going to
anxieties.
change. So one of the things that we talked about last week was leaving work and going home. That sounds quite simple. You leave work at whatever time you finished and you go home. But this woman said to me, I leave work and think about it all the way home on public transport. And something then will pop into my head, which is about home, but I've still got all this work stuff going on. And she said, that's hard work because I don't know how to separate it all out. And then I get home and I remember that I forgot to send an email, which was a work email, of course. So the first thing she does when she gets home, thinking that it will help, is gets her laptop, logs in, writes the email, and sends it, which has taken some time. I think she said about 20 minutes. So it's taken some time off the time she had or should have had with her family. So we talked about simple things that you can do. So how do you leave work at work to go home, to be at home, to be present at home? Because at the end of the day, this is what it's about. When we're at work, we need to be present. When we're at home, we need to be present. So what can we do to make that presence work in each place and leave the other one until tomorrow morning, for example? So we talked about things like leaving work, take a few deep breaths, just simple, few deep breaths. Let the day just drift away for a little while. It's okay, you're not going to stop having the thoughts, but just calm things down, slow things down a little bit. When you get home, don't pick up the laptop because you forgot to send an email. Go and have a cup of tea, coffee, whatever. Find out where the kids are. What are they doing? Go and join in for 5 minutes. Okay, the mother, they don't always want you in their room asking them how their day went and all of that stuff, but try and make some contact. Show that you're present. So we talked about a ton of ways of developing this feeling of presence, because it's not only about us as individuals being present. The people we're with need to know that we're present. And the big takeaway there is, if you're not present at work or if you're not present at home, the people in those environments spot it a mile away. And that obviously drifts off into territory we don't want to go to. So some other ways.
Yeah, but and the key term and the key notion that you mention is presence, and presence at the state. It's not just bringing your body to one spot or to another spot, like job, home. It's not taking a cup and putting it to different parts of your kitchen. It's the presence is the state, and it's actually the nervous system state. And this is something that has to be worked with, like paid attention to and developed. What's the state of presence, and what it is, and how it feels, and how other people perceive it, and how not to, and how to keep your resources, inner resources. And this is something, it's subtle, it's hard to explain in words like point one, point two, point three. It's something you have to notice and practice, and that's probably what I would call the core element, that center, that the
Yeah.
the core of everything. Because if you fall apart, everything falls apart.
Everything falls down. Absolutely. Yeah. One of my favorite things to do, and I do this every single day after work. I sometimes do it during the workday as well, but more often after work. So I will leave the office. I'm upstairs. I'm on the third floor, go down to the ground floor. And on the ground floor, there's a big kitchen dining room. It's a very bright room, not only bright in terms of sunlight, but there are bright colors, and there's loads of pictures on the walls. Loads of different subjects. It's a crazy room in a way, but it's a cool room. So I go into that room, grab a drink, and that varies as to what the drink might be. And I just lean on the sink and look at the pictures and just breathe. And I'm just looking at the pictures, appreciating the pictures. It's really good. And I feel great when I'm doing it. But that makes me present in that space. So I've left work upstairs and I'm now present downstairs in the kitchen. Once I've done that little routine, we're talking about half a minute, maybe a minute at the most. Then I do something like, well, I didn't wash the dishes at lunchtime, better do it. So I wash the dishes from lunchtime. Then I prepare dinner for the evening for when my partner comes home. So there's a little routine involved, but it's all about being present doing that stuff. So by the time she gets home, if she's had a tough day, which frequently she has, she's a midwife, I'm able to be present to receive whatever she's bringing, which is fantastic. Now, that sounds a little bit neat and tidy, perhaps, but it does work if you practice.
Yeah, if you pay attention, they say absolutely. Attention is the most valuable currency right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you pay attention to your states in the body, if you do it deliberately, like while drinking your drink, whatever it is, coffee or water or something, noticing your drink, it's that Buddhist present inside your body. It's like if you drink your, let's say, coffee, and then you see the empty cup and you don't know who drank your coffee, that's you're not being present. And so it's in very little everyday things. It's not something, mystical and marvelous. It's all inside of you. And so if you pay attention to this, your core self, and where you are and where your attention goes, that probably, like, to have balance, you have really to have this balancing point.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. We need to finish now because we're out of time. let's come back next time and talk about attention, because attention is really quite crucial.
Of
And
course.
there are ways we can develop our attention too. So let's come back to that.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. So see you next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care.